All right. Hi, y'all. Welcome to another episode. So, in this episode, I want to talk about first date number 70, and I want to talk about what we uncovered. He actually helped me do some of my homework by accident. Of course, at the time, we didn't realize it, but it's pretty cool stuff. So, as you know, I love discussing relationships, and I just love figuring out why we do what we do, right? So this season is dedicated to me figuring out why the fuck do I do what I do? Okay, so here we go. Okay, so as you guys know, CG and I broke up, and I decided to put myself on some dating apps, right? So, number 70 and I matched really quickly. He was really funny, for one. He was really cute. He was my type. He had a dog, really cute. So I was working on a Saturday at a fair, and he and I matched, and, we had a good conversation on the app. So we switched from, my traditional, we went from the app, we went to like my cell phone, we went to texting, we had a phone call, and then we decided to go out for the first time, right? So it was nice. It worked out really well. There's not a huge love connection there on either of our parts, but we texted the other day, and I'm glad that it happened. So as you know from the last episode, I wanted to do a little bit of self-homework for myself, right? I wanted to find out why I pick who I pick. Okay, so we all know my type, right? So number 70 fits the type, by the way. So, he has beard, he had long hair. Not that I'm necessarily a fan of long hair, but I'll speak to that in a second. He had a dog. He a little bit younger than me. I could tell he works out. Really funny. Anyway, so as I said, we met on the app, and then we went to texting, and then we went to phone. And over the phone, he was kind of like, he was like, why wait? He was like, let's just go out tonight. And I was like, no, because, I'm working at a fair. It's like summer. I'm hot. Like, obviously I can shower, but I'm just not in a good mood. Like, I'm happy to chat with you, but like, I just don't want to like go home, shower, get dressed, put on makeup, go anywhere. And then he was just like, come on, it'll be fun. I don't have any plans. Like, let's not wait. Let's do it. And I was just like, well, I don't know. And I had told him briefly, that I had just broken up or I had just been dumped. And he was just like, no, I get it. It's just good to get out of the house. I'm like, okay. And he was like really persistent and funny. So I was like, okay. So he talked me into going to a place that is not normally open. It's like a really cute breakfast place. And it's not open at night, rather, I should say, because it's a breakfast place, right? So he knew the owner. So he was kind of like, I promise it'll be fun, because I had told him that one thing I always wanted to do on a first date, and I hadn't done it at this point, was I wanted to show up somewhere in like really cute pajamas or really cute sweatpants, and I thought it would just be fun to have breakfast. I was like, I'm in the Army. I'm always like obsessed with like not gaining weight. I try to not have carbs. Like it's a little silly, but it's, who I am, right? So I was like, for me, the idea of like walking into a place in really comfortable clothes, really cute pajamas, sweatpants, whatever, and sitting down with a cute man and eating pancakes and him not being repulsed, that just seems fun to me, right? Because I eat with my hands, pancake syrup and shit can get in my hair, but I still think it'd be fun. So he was like, I love it. I know the perfect place. So he mentioned the place, right? So in this part of New York, I knew that this place was not going to be open. It's a family-owned place, really cute. It was converted from like a train car. It's really cute to this really cute breakfast place. And we were meeting on a Saturday evening, right? So he talked me into it. He was cute, charming, what have you. I was like, okay, I'm going to go, especially if I can go in my sweatpants, right? So we were laughing. So I was like, okay, cool. So, leave the fair, go home, shower, I'm kind of excited, kind of nervous, kind of don't want to go, but I'm just kind of like, fuck it, right? My eyes are red. I wear contacts. Everybody out there who has contacts knows like your eyes get dry as fuck. Like your eyes actually start to physically hurt after a while once your contacts have been in. But I didn't want to wear glasses, and for a first impression, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling the glasses. I have some really cute pink ones. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, so I sprayed the fuck out of my contacts with like the little like liquid solution, and obviously I took a shower. I put on a little bit of makeup. I couldn't find my favorite sweatpants, so I was a little sad to this day, but my second favorite ones, were on. And I thought I looked cute, and I was going to meet him for breakfast, which was like one of my first dream dates ideas, right? So anyway, like I said, we're texting, calling, whatever. I was excited, right? So of course, I'm blind as fuck, and I'm going to be 51. So driving at night in the dark, I was like, holy fuck, like I'm going to die. Right. So, this part of New York's really beautiful, but there's like a lot of winding roads, and I was like nervous and freaking out. And, so I decided to sing, So those of you who know me, No, I love to sing, and I know I sound like shit, but who cares? Because I love to sing, right? So when I'm by myself in my Jeep, I usually have, music playing really fucking loud, and I get like on music kicks, right? So Queen Herbie is like my obsession at the moment. She's been my obsession for a while. Like I love like a handful of her songs, and I like sing to them over and over in the car really fucking loud. Anyway, so this is why this is important. So it's the middle of the night, I'm in my sweatpants. Well, it's not really the middle of the night. We were meeting at 9:15, but for me, about to be 51, 9:15 is pretty fucking late, especially if I had worked all day at the fair. Anyway, so I'm like singing, try to calm myself down a little bit. Plus I love to sing anyway. It's dark as fuck. I can't see. My eyes are dry. I have astigmatism. So, it's like those memes where like the light, like a street light goes into like a sphere of like several light beams. Like, so I'm blind as fuck, right? So I pull up to the place. I'd been there before, but I had been there during the day, right? So of course everything looks different at night. I pull up the place. I'm kind of like, I don't see any cars. I knew it was closed, obviously, because, obviously it's fucking closed. But turns out, he went to school with the owner, like when they were like little kids, and he, called in a favor, and the lights weren't on yet, but I didn't know that. I mean, they were on, but I didn't see them. But anyway, whatever, because I'm fucking blind. Anyway, so I pull up to the Jeep to park, right? So I'm actually, whatever. And I'm singing and I'm still nervous. I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't see any cars. I don't see him, whatever. So I start singing another one of her songs really loud to myself, because I'm like, at some point he'll text or I'll text. It'll be fine, right? Feeling the vibe with the music, right? So I'm singing, and then I look to my left, because, I'm fucking driving. I'm in the driver's seat. I look to my left, and he's fucking right there. Like, I was like, holy fuck, right? Scared the fuck out of me, and he was like laughing. Well, because I look like an idiot. I'm sure he's like, holy fuck, why did I do this? So whatever. So I get out of the car. I'm like nervous. I'm flustered because I'm kind of embarrassed. And then I realized I didn't put the car in park. Anyway, whatever. So, I mean, we were safe. Like, I didn't run over anybody's feet or anything, but, got the car in park, locked the Jeep, exited the vehicle, was so embarrassed, right? So he like laughed, gave me a really good hug. He's a little bit taller than me. And it was fine. So we go into we walk into the place, and I realize that the lights are on, and there's a couple people there, and they're like making pancakes. And I was like, holy fuck, this is awesome. So obviously he was able to pull a couple of strings, and I appreciated the gesture, right? So number 70 is a life coach. So we had, as I said, gone from the app to texting to the phone, and this was all in one day. I don't generally go out with somebody so quickly, but he made me laugh, and he's a life coach, and like, why not? You know what I mean? So anyway, so we went, and he made the whole breakfast and sweatpants thing, pajamas and all that happen. Anyway, so we sit down. He's wearing like a little like a beanie kind of thing, which is cute because he's wearing pajamas as well, but he looks really cute. Like, he looked way cuter than I did, for sure. Anyway, so I was just like, do you just have pajamas like like ready to go in case you meet some random person? It was really cute. And he was like, no, I'm a life coach. I'm ready for everything. We were like laughing. Anyway, so we sit down, and so there's like a giant bar booth, because it's like a converted rail car. So we sit down to the side, which is my favorite, because he's like, do you want to sit here at the booth or on a table? And I was like, the booth would be cute. And as you guys know, I love when couples sit side by side, like on a booth on the same side. Anyway, so it was cute. So we did that. And then, of course, we were watching the volunteer, I won't say who they are, the volunteer cooking the pancakes for us, right? Or whatever. It was fun. So we had coffee, and I was a little bit nervous. So I had my coffee really quickly. And before I knew it, I had like 3 cups of coffee. So I'm like wired as fuck, right? Like wired as fuck, more than normal. And he's a really nice guy, and he was very cute, very charming, and he's good at what he does. And I'll share, some like pearls of wisdom that he like shared with me. But I knew that it wasn't going to be a love connection, but it was still a fun evening, right? So I was having my coffee. We had the pancakes. Sure enough, I get like a little bit of like a pancake shit, like in my hair, because, I love to talk with my hands, and I eat with my hands sometimes. And anyway, I know I'm crazy attractive, like a fucking barbarian. But anyway, so so we're talking. And of course, like, I had filled him in throughout the course of the day that I had just been dumped, and the relationship lasted for so long. And I actually thought it was going to go somewhere. And he said something to me that was kind of life-changing. And it was interesting because I didn't see it at the time, of course, because I think that's what, life coaches and therapists are supposed to do, right? They're supposed to ask you questions, and then they're not necessarily giving you advice. They're just like making you find the answer yourself, I guess is the best way to say it. So of course, I was like telling him the story of what happened. And then he was just like, this isn't a paraphrase either. This was like a fucking quote. So like I would have to cite this for like my fucking professor, but he was literally like, he like leaned in, you know, because we were like side by side, and he was just like, you know, he smelled great, by the way. He was like, you know, things don't happen to you, things happen for you. And holy fuck, that was like mind-blowing at that moment, right? Of course I had had like 3 or 4 cups of coffee at that point, so I was like all hyper, but I was like, oh my god, like that's amazing, because my whole life I always feel like things happen the way they're supposed to happen. The timing might not be perfect, but things happen the way they're supposed to, and there's a reason, and you know, like don't give up, like keep fighting for whatever, you know, things happen the way they should. Look for signs, right? So I try to be an adult, right? So I'm like, look for signs, like be mature, be loyal, be honest, be sincere, be raw, be open. You know, just look for signs, right? So he was like, I don't know why this happened, but this happened for you. He was like, you were supposed to see something about yourself. You're supposed to learn something about yourself. He was like, nobody can make your life happy but you. And I was like, I totally agree with that, because I say shit like that all the time. So he kind of giggled a little bit. And then he was just like, this happened for you. He was like, this happened for him, but we're not talking about him. We're talking about you. He was like, this happened for you. He was like, breakups are hard. He was like, it doesn't matter how long you've been with someone. It doesn't matter if it's been years, months, a couple hours. It doesn't matter. He was like, if it's a breakup, he was like, it feels like a death, right? And he was just like, it's a normal thing. Go through the process. You know, he was like, don't date anybody but me. And like, we were laughing, right? And then of course, you know, he's a life coach and he's being charming and funny, but it stuck with me. And as I talked about, like, you know, the last episode, I wanted to do like some self homework and find out like why I make the choices I make. Like, why do I pick the people you know, in my life? Like, why do I date who I date? Like, why do I swipe right on certain people and swipe left on others? So that was this whole self homework, right, that I talked to you guys that I was going to do. Well, when I was getting ready for this episode, it occurred to me, my life coach actually did my self homework for me. But we did it together because we talked for hours, and it was a great conversation. He and I texted the other day. We're not going to go out again, but he'll probably be somewhat of a friend, you know, which is fine. I mean, you know, it's not a bad thing to go out and meet somebody and have a good first date and then be friends with them. That's a great thing. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Anyway, and he made one of my first date dreams come true, right? So I had pancakes in the middle of the fucking night in my pajamas. I was up till like fucking 3 a.m., by the way, anyway, because I couldn't sleep, but whatever. It was still fun. But what I had learned about why I do what I do is I learned where the beard, the physical attribute came from, right? That came from my father. So I'm not going to rehash it here. It's in another previous episode, which I can share the number later if you're interested, but the episode number. But he was abusive. My father, my birth father, was abusive to me and my mom. Quick recap. And I used to wake up with her screaming, and he tried to kill me. He tried to kill her. And when I was 8, I called the police, right? So I haven't seen or spoken to him since, and it's a good decision for my life, right? Anyway, so he had a beard, and he used to work out, and it was the 70s, right? So, you know, everybody back then was like, you know, popping steroids, taking all sorts of like supplements, because nobody really knew anything. This was the 70s, right? So people were working out, they're eating like tons of steak and milk, which is still good, but they were taking all these steroids and pills, and nobody knew, right? So in hindsight, in his defense, because I always try to see other people's sides and things, I'm not perfect, but I try. He was probably affected somewhat with his temper and mood with all the steroids he was taking, but it doesn't matter. I was an 8-year-old kid. He was still trying to kill me. So anyway, the only vivid, happy memory I have of my father was when I was young, and he took me to the gym, because he used to go to the gym all the time, because, you know, the bodybuilder in the 70s. And he did a bicep curl with me, and it made me so happy. And he looked so proud, and he had a beard, and he didn't have blue eyes, but I think that is kind of where the beard thing comes from, right? And then talking to number 70, my life coach, basically, unofficially, right, on the date, was basically telling me, you know, as a bodybuilder, he was like, you like military, you like first responders, makes sense. He was like, you're looking for somebody to make you feel safe. He was like, you're looking for like a hero. He was like, you're looking for comfort. And he was like, your father was not a great person, made some terrible, bad choices, obviously, right? Terrible. He was just like, he had a beard, he worked out. So you as an adult, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the beard, you're looking for somebody to save you. And holy shit, that was pretty awesome. Some of the attributes that I look for and think about physicality definitely come from him. So I think my life coach is correct. So that's my self-homework. So that's like where that came from, right? Doesn't mean that I can't change it. And it doesn't mean that these are necessarily bad attributes, but I don't want to end up with somebody who has a temper. And I think that's one of the reasons CG and I, in hindsight, broke up, was I think he just likes to fight. Some people do. I just don't. I don't like to argue. I don't like to, I just don't like it. Anyway, but think that my coach is right. I think that the things with my father happened for me, so that way I could channel and learn, how to control my temper as an adult, and hopefully share this wisdom with other people, right? Anyway, I had a lot of fun on the date. We wrapped up the date probably around 2:30 or so. I don't think I got home, like I said, till sometime after 3. I was fucking wide awake. My dog was asleep and stretching, what the fuck kind of thing, right? So I took him on a quick little walk, and then it was fucking 3:30 in the morning. And so he was all out of whack, and I cleaned my kitchen refrigerator. But anyway, all that to say, if you and your friends and family would like to share some of your stories with me as far as your self-homework, if you did it, please do. You know where to find me on social media and on the platforms. I had a lot of fun doing the self-homework for myself. It's nice to know the origins of why I do what I do, right? Doesn't mean I can't change them. Doesn't mean that they're terrible, they're good. It just means, knowledge is a good thing, right? Also, I'm in college, and I have to say, if you are a veteran, and you are not using tuition assistance, you're actually in the Army right now, holy fuck, use tuition assistance. I'm more than halfway done with my bachelor's, and I've been doing 8-week courses from Post University. Literature right now is just my heart. I have a really high GPA right now, and I'm really proud of myself, and it's keeping me sane with recruiting. So anyway, if you guys have any questions about anything, any comments, any concerns, things you love, things you hate about this season, definitely please let me know. I will share date number 772. No, I will share date number 71 with you guys very soon. Okay, so if you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out, find me, and love y'all, and bye.